The Primarchs are the demigod sons of the Emperor of Mankind. Their purpose? To lead the Space Marine legions. They were genetically engineered in a secret laboratory on Terra, using his unique genetic code. This means they inherited many abilities from their father. Some of these are shared amongst the Primarchs, and some are specific to one or two. And in the story, it often means you could probably slip one of them into a Marvel movie and nobody would even notice. These are the top 10 superhero moments of the Primarchs.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Everybody knows of Captain America's legendary elevator scene. However, did you know that Roboute Guilliman did it first? That's right, during the Horus Heresy, 10 Alpha Legionnaires impersonated Ultramarines and made it past the seemingly lacking security and into a chamber with the Lord of Ultramar. The Avenging Sun quickly clocked on to what was happening. However, the traitorous Space Marines were armed and armoured, whereas Guilliman was in ceremonial plate and had no weapon. Remarkably, in the now sealed room, the Primarch was able to overpower some of his would-be assassins, he got his hands on a couple of their weapons, and he managed to kill or incapacitate the entire squad. It would take time for Guilliman to properly recover from the wounds inflicted during this struggle. However, he survived this assassination attempt from some of the galaxy's premier killers. If you want to catch a Primarch, you've got to be very fast, and Fulgrim demonstrates this well on Byzas, a planet he tried to conquer with just 7 Space Marines. Some of the people of this world were not too keen on this, and so naturally they tried to assassinate him. Fulgrim heard the gunfire and felt the air part. He drew his sword Fireblade and cut the bullet into 2 pieces before it even had a chance to complete its journey. He was also able to save a hereditary governor of the planet by catching a bullet in the air using his supernatural speed. It landed safely in his armoured glove. In such instances, it's said that everything else slows down for Fulgrim, but he speeds up.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always...
Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters, has my favourite feat of strength of all of the Primarchs. He used his hulkiness, as it were, to hold up the foot of a Warhound Titan. He did this to prevent the Titan from stepping on his brother, Lorgar Aurelian, who was struggling to move after taking a plasma arm shot to the face from said Titan. Because of Angron's heroic actions, both brothers lived to fight another day. What a great guy that Angron. I surely hope nothing bad ever happens to him. You may have heard of the Spidey sense, but have you heard of the Lioney-Sense? It is said that Lionel Johnson has an unnaturally gifted instinct and is able to sense an attack and react to any danger without even a thought. This allowed him to respond even to the silent and deadly attacks of his brother Konrad Curze when they fought during the Horus Heresy. Even when fighting against a Primarch with foresight, the Lion was able to parry his blows and ultimately defeated the Night Haunter. In fact, Lionel Johnson is such a weapon that he even makes Curze question his own prophesized death.
Stop! You're gonna make me die wrong!
We can't really talk about superhero Primarchs and not mention Curze, who is basically the grimdark Batman. Curze was a vigilante who used his combat skills to fight crime and protect his homeworld of Nostromo. Just like Bruce Wayne, Curze became a symbol. Mothers told their children the tales of the dreaded Night Haunter, and this fear kept citizens in line. Unlike Batman, who has a strict moral code and tries to avoid killing, Konrad Curze has no such compunction and is willing to use any means necessary to achieve his objectives, including torture and assassination. He even uses his visions of the future to determine the guilt of a person before they have even committed any crime. You might assume the classic candidate for Thor in Warhammer 40K would be Leman Russ, but actually I'm going to go with Vulkan, the Primarch of the Salamanders. During the Heresy, Vulkan was captured by Konrad Curze. Curze tortured and tried to kill his brother a lot. However, each time Vulkan showed the amazing ability to come back to life, regenerating to his former glory, which had the delightful side effect of really annoying his traitorous brother. Eventually, the Night Haunter put Vulkan into an impossible labyrinth. In the middle was Dawnbringer, Vulkan's own hammer, which had an inbuilt teleportation device and offered a path to freedom. In the center they fought, and when Dawnbringer was in Vulkan's hand once again, the Night Haunter revealed his cruel trick. The chamber was teleport shielded, and Vulkan's chance for escape was gone. Curze was delighted that his evil trap had worked so well. However, Vulkan reveals that Curze has forgotten one important detail about Dawnbringer. It's also a hammer. Vulkan beat his brother to a pulp, and his genius was revealed. The teleport dampeners that the Night Lords possess could not possibly affect his technology. In his nobility, Vulkan lets the wretch live, but he teleports away to safety. So with his awesome hammer skills, insane durability, and a knack for teleporting about, I think Vulkan makes a pretty decent Mighty Thor. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a Legiones Astartes Thunderhawk gunship? No, it's Sanguinius. The Great Angel was blessed with wings, and wings of course are useful mainly for one thing, taking out titans. During the Siege of Terra, Sanguinius lands on a Warlord Titan, one of the largest titans ever made, capable of laying entire armies low with its array of weapons. Sanguinius rams his spear, the Spear of Telesto, into the back of its head. It emits a powerful energy blast, and the resultant detonations bring down the Warlord. This feat was so insane that 3 Warhound Titans who witnessed it fled in terror from the Primarch of the Blood Angels. Roboute Guilliman's main superpower, of course, is being actually well adjusted for one of the Primarchs, but you will never know the fury like that felt by Roboute Guilliman during the betrayal at Kauth. That's right, we're back on Guilliman, but in my defense, he is literally known for being the Avenging Sun.
If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
The traitorous Wordbearers attacked the Ultramarines whilst they were gathering at Kauth. The bridge of the flagship, the Macrag's Honor, exploded, and Roboute Guilliman was sucked into the void of space, and it seemed like the Avenging Sun's avenging days were over. But clearly there were many theoreticals and practicals left for him to run, as he was later seen by stunned Ultramarines and Wordbearers in the void of space without a helmet. There is a limited gravity source and a skin of thin atmosphere emanating from the ship, but still, nothing should have been able to survive for so long. The 13th Primarch rips the Wordbearers apart. One even has their head punched clean off. Guilliman makes it back inside his battleship, and he leads his Space Marines as they strike back for the Emperor. There are many Space Marines, Custodians, and Primarchs who pride themselves on their stealth abilities, which is kind of bizarre given that they're all absolutely massive.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye.
But for Corvus Corax it does make sense because he can turn invisible. Well, kind of. The Raven Lord has the ability to make the minds of others ignore him if he so wishes. An automatic scanner, for example, can still pick him up. Like a predator that only recognizes the shapes of its prey, those that Corax wishes to deceive simply do not register his presence, and to the naked eye, Corvus would appear to be invisible. He of course uses this to great effect during the Horus Heresy and destroys swathes of traitors without them even realizing what's happening. Jaghatai Khan is so good at killing that sometimes the White Scars just stand back and enjoy the show. The only issue is that they often struggle to even see the Primarch given how fast he moves. As the Great Kargan accelerates, he will eventually enter a state known as Alakh Ger, at which point it's said his thought alone can kill. Even orcs flee from him. At this point it's practically impossible to lay a hand on him. The Warhawk is thought to be the most unreadable of all of the Primarchs, and even the mightiest of his brothers are unsure if they could defeat him. If you are still watching at this point, thank you so much. I love Primarchs and I love these epic Primarch moments. If you do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing. I don't have a Patreon, but you can support me via the join button on the page below. I currently have 2 people supporting the channel. I know it's rude to brag, but I do have a dream that we can one day get that up to 3. Be sure to comment what you thought of these awesome superhero moments of the Primarchs, and let me know what else you think deserves a place on this list. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.